Welcome back to episode 12.
No, 13.
13?
Episode 13. We just recording.
Yeah, episode 13.
Episode 13.
13.
Welcome back for episode 13.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back for episode 13 of the Perplexing Perspective, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dude, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it has, man.
Just this week. And if anybody's following me on TikTok, I've been doing days of consistency.
Yeah.
Trying to take my supplements, trying to drink enough water, trying to stretch every night, trying to get some exercise in every day. Just like Shits and Gigs is doing like a 60 days to Snatched or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of did my own version where it's just trying to get 60 days of just being consistent.
Yeah.
You can follow me on TikTok at JulianRL Hazen. Shameless plug. And hopefully, I will be consistent and be able to get my stuff together. Hopefully stop sounding so nasally on the podcast because allergies is jacking me up.
Yeah, it's been a nightmare here in Bozeman, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, things happen. But, yeah, man, I think that's great, man. Good work for you, obviously.
Appreciate it.
It's always hard to get started, but once I think you're in that pattern, it becomes much, much easier. So
for me, I get like a really good weekend, and then all of a sudden, like the weekend comes and everything gets crazy, and then I just fall off.
Yeah, dude, that actually happened to me recently because I got, when I got sick, obviously, like that was for me, like I was on a really consistent, like run of it all. And like, obviously, like, I mean, speaking for me and the producer here, Gus, like he and I work out pretty frequently.
Right.
And like that week we had been like, that leading up to me getting sick, we had
so locked in.
We had a killer week in the gym.
Okay.
Like we had PRs in a couple different areas.
All right.
Yeah, and we were just like, I mean, we were lifting way heavier than we normally were for most of our.
We were pushing each other so hard.
Yeah,
man.
no, it was basically a slugfest. One person would pick up something heavy, and the next one would pick up the 5 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
and the next the person who picked up who didn't have the heavier one was just sitting there like, shit.
Yeah,
all right, here we go.
After.
We were really dialed, but then I got pretty ill, and so that was a whole week out of the gym for me.
Damn.
Yeah, which obviously I didn't lose any strength. Like I've been in a couple of times now since, and it's all pretty much there. But like the fatigue is definitely more for sure.
Yeah,
like coming
100%.
back, that's more of I'm like, I gotta build the stamina back up above everything. It's not the actual like explosive strength of it. It's more the being able to, like the endurance of it all. But yeah, man, I think today what I really want to talk to you about is just growth in life, both physical, spiritual, mental, kind of where you've been at in life recently, maybe some goals that you have for yourself in the future, and then obviously for me as well, and we'll talk about that. And Gus, I'd like to hear yours as well with this too. I want to see where you're at. I think it's a good way to hold each other accountable because we talk a lot about situations where we've grown in the past, but I think as people who do focus on this, I think it's important for us to also acknowledge where we're currently at and then hold each other accountable to where we're going.
Fair.
So let's have you start, Jay.
Goals. Man, I'm just trying to be I don't know. I'm low-key goal-less right now. Like, I still want to, play volleyball at a high level, but, it's going to be a struggle getting to there, but I don't know. Goals-wise, for me, I've found that I'm a pretty inconsistent person when it comes to some taking care of myself stuff. Like, when I live with my mom, who's a wellness specialist, my nutrition was on point, my supplements were on point, but that's because I had someone hounding me about all of it. And as soon as I moved out, I struggled to drink enough water, to sleep enough, all types of everything. I was actually, I feel like I was peak form in high school because I was taking care of myself the most, and I haven't been back there. I'll say, consistent, nutrition, healthy wise, I don't think I peaked in high school for sure.
Yeah.
But that's also because my mom was making all my meals and it was really easy.
Yeah, it makes things way easier.
Yeah, but I think for me, I'm just trying to become a more consistent person. I'm like pretty consistent in like how I show up for people and things of that sort, but
definitely agree with that.
I pour into a lot of people's cups, and I realize my cup kind of runneth dry recently. I just don't. I have volleyball for myself, but I don't really do other stuff to like just for me.
Yeah, fair.
Like obviously the pod's for me, but it's for us as well.
It's not individual though.
Right, yeah.
You still go to the gym, right? Or...
Yeah, so I still work out. I still run. I'm running a Spartan race soon. And so, like, I have stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't feel, like, lost in who I am. I just feel like I'm a little far away from my passion.
Yeah.
Which is speaking to people. And the podcast is the closest I have right now. But I have always seen myself speaking and inspiring people from the stage. The unfortunate fact is I feel like I see that dwindling now. Like a lot of people do it from social media and things of that sort. And it's cool. It's a great opportunity. But I have always been like a face-to-face kind of person. I want to look somebody in the eyes and let them know that like shit's achievable.
Yeah.
And I think as of right now, I'm in that growing stages of shit's achievable. And so I'm trying to push myself to achieve it so that I can look at people and be like, look, even me.
Yeah.
Like, if I can, you can. And it's really that simple because I don't come from money. I don't have a big foundation that I'm like stepping on to be able to grow. I'm literally just a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a passion and I'm able to build on that. So as of right now, I just want consistency. I just want to try to post a podcast every week.
Yeah.
I want to try to get the podcast every week. I want to try to get reels and videos out for the podcast as much as possible.
Yeah.
I want to stay consistent building my own brand. I want to be taking care of myself, sleeping well. I'm working too many jobs, so it's like I'm just trying to get in a rhythm of progressing 1%. Like, I'll take 0.5% every day.
Yeah, fair.
Because I'm just trying to get in that rhythm of, okay, I'm one step closer. Even though if I'm talking in a marathon, it's just one step. But, like, as long as I'm getting one step closer every day, that's kind of where I'm at right now. My goal is just to make enough money to be comfortable.
Yeah.
If I'm like my realistic goals, obviously play volleyball semi-pro, which would be sick, or even pro would be awesome. But I'm just trying to. I want to do something.
Yeah.
And like my passions right now are volleyball and motivation, which I'm able to combine in coaching, but with the lack of experience playing on a team at all, it's hard to kind of build a career from coaching when everybody goes, what's your background? I'm like, I jump really high and I got good really fast.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, cool.
But like, what's your actual volleyball like?
Right.
Yeah.
So right now I'm building experience coaching right now, and hopefully maybe at the end of it I'm able to combine it and be a really good volleyball coach and help teach the next generation about the game and the love for the game. But
I've always thought you'd be a really good coach because I think it does blend a lot of your passion.
You're a great speaker, man. Like, I think you being on this podcast is a testament to like, I don't know, I don't know how to say it, but like, you speak and I listen, you know? It's
you have
like,
a voice that carries for miles.
Yeah.
Aura. No, just
I
don't take compliments well, so I have to make the joke.
No, I mean, it's serious, man. Like, as soon as, we have good mic quality on here now, so it's now like, there's no static to like listening to you, and I just, get to hear what you say, and I mean, I'm always interested in, what you say, and, what Max, I mean, that's why I'm producer on this podcast, because like, I'm interested in you and Max, and like, I want to help,
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. That means a lot.
So like, you have a lot of pull as a speaker, and I also think you're an overachiever. I also think you're trying to do so many things at once, and like, you don't allow yourself any like leeway. Like, you can't be like, you know, this passion I have, like, will come in time. I just got to keep, like, chipping away at it, you know?
Yeah. I think if you start, then I'm not trying to, like, give you advice on how to handle it, because I don't know, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I have no idea where it'll go. But I think something interesting that Gus and I can both probably speak to, and this is, like, because of what he and I are doing, like, what our passions are, and that is art, is, like, I think once I started looking at my passions as a form of art and not, like, something to, like, chase or, like, more of a hobby, I think that's where things got more creative for me. And I think I learned to play a lot more than I learned to achieve. And I think that's when I started achieving things. And that's where people, not even achieve, I think that's where recognition came in. Because I think people saw a genuine love when I was experimenting. And, you know, it was tough, like, initially when I started it. Like, you know, there's a lot of things I did when I was in school where I was not, like, doing entirely new things in the art of photography, but, you know, I was pushing a, like, personal brand in myself as an artist a lot in ways that people were like, this is very different from anything you've done previously. Right. But I think a lot of what came in respect of it was, like, it got good because I allowed so much room for things to just happen instead of trying so hard to just make something work. Yeah. And I think that one of the greatest examples of that was, like, the project I worked on when I met you during my sophomore year. That was so just, like, you know, it had a very serious undertone, but in a lot of it, it was so playful in nature and, like, really just experimenting. Like, a lot of the stuff I went out and did, like, I had no idea what the end result was going to be. I had a general vision of how I wanted it to look, and, like, I would frame it around that. But, like, in terms of, like, other technical things that could have come up, I was like, shit's going to happen. I'm going to make it work regardless, but, like, it's just going to happen. And so, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's so good that you're so poised to get all these things done. Yeah. And I think it's like Gus says, like, your passion is so evident that it makes it so respectable, and, like, people want to help you with that. But I think if you kind of, hey, Ty, you look good, brother. But yeah, hey, buddy. No, you're good, bro. You're good. Hey. Another Ty takeover. Yeah, another Ty takeover. Always welcome.
You can't keep taking over the show.
20-second takeover.
Yeah, I do it.
Right, 20 seconds. Yeah, come on,
pop in. Pop in. Hell yeah.
Alright, welcome to the Ty takeover.
Get to the mic. Get to the mic.
Come here. Come sit here.
God damn.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another Tyler Takeover. On today's Tyler Takeover, we're going to talk about Tuesday. Tuesday, that day, I ran out of T-words. Those are like T-words.
Get it out!
Okay, bye.
And that has been Tyler Takeover.
That's what Tyler Takeover for the day. Thank you all for watching. This is the entire episode.
That is the episode.
No, but if I could speak on something, I have had a very similar experience with Max, where it's like, I had it like, I mean, I haven't really talked to anybody about this, but I feel like my first 2 years at art school were, like, not wasted, but, like, I felt like I was, like, with my art, I was always trying to make it into something that it wasn't, or I was always trying to be something that I'm not. And, like, you know, I'm a pretty, like, lighthearted, like, playful guy, and when I started doing stuff that was more, like, authentic to myself, people, like, were really receptive to it. And I think as long as you're authentic, and as long as, like, you allow, like, leeway for yourself to grow over time, I think, like, I know this sounded like muju kind of, like, up in the air advice, but like, give it some time, keep chipping away at it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Like, you're obviously doing the right things.
Fair.
You know what I mean? And it'll come to you, man. Like, I swear. Like, if you just keep doing the things that make you better every day, it's gonna come. Like, I swear.
I think the greatest piece of advice I got within my own art form was, once you get those abilities, you got to just find your own lane and you got to stick in it.
Yeah.
Facts.
I think that was, and I think Gus, what he just said, spoke to that very highly. He's like, you know, you'll try a bunch of things, like, because you're just for the sake of trying it, trying to see what works best for you and everything. And then you're going to find that one day, and it's going to be like everything clicks, right?
Yeah.
And then there will be certain people that tell you, like, oh, experiment outside of that even. Like, go further. But it's also like, you got to know where you're going to be in your what I call like money
Fast,
zone.
dude.
Yeah.
You got to know that zone to where you're just going to be operating at your highest level, and nobody can fuck with that no matter what they do.
Fair.
And like in art, that's a major thing. Like they always are telling you, they're like, yo, this is your niche even within this art form. Right. Stick to that. That's why there's so many different types of photographers. Fair. There's guys who work for catalogs. There's the F1 photographers. The guys who know how to take a photo fast as fuck. Yeah. There's the studio guys. And like for you, there's like all these different types of animators. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, wow, this is an art form, and I totally agree. I think it's so applicable to life.
Right.
There's so many avenues in which I could totally see you going with speaking.
And where you can win, too.
And
like
where you can win. And like where you can combine multiple interests of yours into one. You're so close to finding your lane, bro. You're in the experimenting phase of your life right now.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. We can speak to this. It's so frustrating being in that zone because you're like, I'm trying everything and I'm working so hard and I'm not getting everything that I want out of this.
Yeah. I
feel
that's
like it's so human.
That's where I'm sitting right now. It's like I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yes, like you're right. You're on the cusp every day. You're like, you're an inch closer to falling off that cliff and like hitting the parachute and be like, I figured it out.
Yeah.
Like I figured it out. Like
I knew I've always wanted to be an animator. Like I've always known that about myself, and I've always stayed true to that. I had a final, right? That was like, I put my heart and soul into it, right?
Yeah.
And the class, it was met with like a resounding meh, right? From like this entire class of people who hated it. So I was like, at this point, like I had an animation uploaded to my YouTube channel, like for class, right? And I was like, screw it, I'll upload this one too. 1,000 views and just a ton of comments being like, oh my god, this is so good, like what's more of the story, like da-da-da-da-da. Like dude, you never know what's gonna be a hit, and you never know like what's gonna like happen, so you just kind of have to.
What is your YouTube channel? Plug that real quick.
Let me pull it up. It's Gus Art. It's like
Gus Art.
Yeah, Gus is super good.
Check the description for Gus's YouTube channel on animation.
I can't even like.
Gus makes the rest of us look like a joke when
you're not gonna get it by a search, but it's okay.
Yeah,
plug it later.
Actually, you know what? Click that I on somewhere. It will be linked right there. Go check out that video. After you finish, watch this one, like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah.
Go check out that video. Go check out Gus.
Yeah.
Go check out what he does and see what he's passionate about.
Super talented young kid, man.
Yeah,
like
man.
really, honestly, one of the most talented artistic minds I've ever met in my life.
It's hard. You know, it's hard being around artists because like their tastes. Well, I mean,
no, I agree.
Like their tastes are like it's hard because like. I mean, a lot of them are critics, right?
Right.
As well, because like, but it's also like, it's hard to be in such like an insulated environment, like, when like you know something would work outside that environment, but a room full of people are telling you this is dog shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like you show other people and you show your friends, and it's like. You know, you post a video on YouTube and people are like, yo, what the fuck, this is fire.
Yeah.
Like, 30 subscribers overnight,
Right.
It's like, it's...
And it's like, no disrespect, don't take this as an insult. Like, in the grand scheme of life and how we've seen people blow up in this viral age, that's not even that much. But if you took all those people in a room, it's like, holy shit, 30 people just came up and approached me and said, this is sick.
Yeah,
like,
that would mean a lot.
I want to follow you.
Yeah, I want to see what you do going forward.
Even
like,
all the people who
something.
commented on that video, like, saw it, if you put them all in a room and they were like, yo, I really rock with this, that would be like... insane.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I was
a great feeling.
I was like hit myself because I was like, I'm not doing enough. We're not doing enough for the podcast. Da, 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 da. And then I realized in the last 28 days we had like 44,000 views, and I was like,
yeah, whoa.
I was like, yeah, we're not doing it. 44,000. Holy shit!
And that's 44,000. Like they wouldn't fit in this house. They'd be out in the side yard. It'd be the entire block.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
It's incredible.
I think even the funniest thing, and like most of our subscribers are people that know us. You know what I mean? Like that we've had an established connection with. Shout out you guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys. But you gotta think about it too. Like we don't even have much, and I'm not saying I don't appreciate what we don't have. That's not it at all. But again, looking at like what you said, like. Grand scheme of this whole viral age, right?
Yeah.
Having 50 subscribers to a page overall is like nothing.
Right.
And that's no disrespect, but it's just the truth. But like, again, if you think about it, though, like, we did this with nothing. Like, we just started something, and now we're at this point where it's like, yeah, 50 people care enough, though, to at least
I'll ask
be
you this,
interested.
though. How many YouTube channels have 0 subscribers?
So many more.
How many people never try? Dude, I made a gaming YouTube channel when I was a kid. It got like 130 subs.
Holy shit.
And people loved it. Like, people really fucked with the gaming content.
Yeah.
And I was like just a dumbass kid, like yelling into a mic, playing games with my friends, right? Like, you don't know like what's gonna work until you try it. And if you're authentic, then it's just gonna kind of come naturally, and people will see that, they'll fuck with it. They'll rock with you. They'll want to suck your dick. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa.
No. But that's what I mean, basically. You're very authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing what you want to do, and I think when you figure it out, you're gonna know what you want to do.
Jay, when you find your lane, you're going 130 miles flat.
Yeah,
like it's not even gonna be a joke. Like I say that in all seriousness.
Yeah, you're gonna hit the ground
appreciate
running,
you,
man.
brother.
I appreciate you.
You're so hardworking, man. Like, and you too, Max. Like,
Appreciate
you found your lane. You're hardworking too. That's really respectable. Like, I don't know. It's so great to see what you guys do, man.
Appreciate you, brother. G-Man, where you at?
Where am I at?
Here, come take a seat. Come take a seat. I'll be Mr. Producer for a second. Come take a seat.
Phil, what's up? What's happening with you?
Is there? Wait, hold on.
They removed the name.
Yeah, we're still recording.
We're chilling.
Yeah, no.
We got a timer going still? Just want to check in word. Okay.
I don't know. Where am I at? You know, I feel like after that whole, like, debacle with, like, that video I was talking about, like, I felt so bad after, like, I, like, uploaded it and people just did not fuck with it. And I feel like that's been, like, my career as an artist, just me, like, kind of having a chip on my shoulder the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I'm in a room full of people where it's like, they're like, oh, this isn't that, this isn't this, and da-da-da-da-da, and, like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, like, in art, it's also, like, a personal attack. You know what I mean? You've been in critique rooms before. You know that sometimes it's, like, a personal, like, somebody just doesn't like you. Or, like, kind of thinks you're easy. So it's, like, they feel way more comfortable critiquing your work. Like, I had somebody, I was like, yo, bro, like, I knew this guy personally. Shout out, you're the fucking man. But there's this one day where he, like, really went hard on my critique in class, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. And then it's like, I was just like, and then later, like, we had a morning class together after that one class, and I was like, oh, man, I was getting chewed out during that critique, man. Like, you especially, you know, just kind of poking fun at it. And then he was like, yeah, I just kind of feel like you're pretty receptive to advice. I'm like, I'm not. Don't talk to me like that.
I'm not. I'm actually sensitive.
No, I'm like, I feel like, so I feel like that's a part of it. Like, people might just look at me and either have, like, zero respect for me or respect me enough to be able to criticize my work.
You know what? I understand.
And it's either one of the two.
You know what? I say this with love. I think people are like, if they feel like they can do it, that's a huge respect, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes.
I know maybe not, like, the content of what they say maybe is, like, somewhat out of pocket, like, having been in some of those circles before.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, I mean, people want to say, like, I'm coming from this, like, in a non-biased way, and it's like,
it's so
you
fucking
innately
biased.
come in with bias in art. Like, it's impossible not to, and that's totally fine. Like, it's fine, but just acknowledge it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's okay, but, like, we can keep it, like, we can be real about it.
And then the frustrating part is, it's like, I could show, like, the average person this. And that's the thing, right? It'd always be, like, one or two people that I'd show my work to, and they'd be like, oh, this is good. Like, what the fuck are they, like, so mad at? Why are you getting chewed out this hard? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then it's like 600 people are like, yo, this fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, I don't know, it's good. I feel like I would be way more resentful if that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Which, I'm glad it did. And also, like, a lot of my other animations have, gone up on that channel, and they've also been met with great feedback, and it's just like, man, it's something I really needed. Because I was like, I wasn't losing motivation, but I was getting to a point where I was just like, man, fuck this. Like, I'm never going to get my roses. I'm never going to, like, get the, the credit that, like, I think I deserve. And then it's like, that happens, and it's just like, word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those
like, it was the perfect timing.
I think one thing I want you to keep in mind going forward, and this isn't bad, I totally understand why it's frustrating, because I've been there too. Like, I've been like, just getting fucking dog right now. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it does suck. Like, after a while, you're like, okay, this just isn't productive. Does anyone have anything good to say? Or, like, at least somewhere that I can build on, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a real thing, too, in art, is a lot of people will just say things, and it's like, okay, that was phenomenal. Yeah. What do I do? Like, what do I do with it?
And that's the thing. You have to find that for yourself. Yeah. Nobody's going to be like, oh, you need this tool in photo. No, you gotta go through the mud. You gotta find out what works.
But with that though too, I want you to keep in mind though is that like it's a blessing to get critiques from people that they care enough about your work, because that means that they see talent in you, brother.
Dude, some of the people at my school, right, like their art is genuinely so bad that everyone says it's good.
I agree. Like I used to get, like I'm telling you right now, I used to get ripped in critiques. Like ripped.
But I feel like you're top of your class, man. Like you're...
And that's exactly why. You have to acknowledge that, brother. If you're getting ripped by a lot of people, it's because you're doing something right. They see something in you that they know they can't. Like, that kid saying that to you was super real. Like, him being like, I feel like
I should have responded like that.
Yeah, no, because I get it. Don't worry, I get it. There's been times I'm like, bro, that shit was so.
Brian, I'm sorry, I love you, bro.
Yeah, no, he was real for that. Yeah, like, the fact that he was like, he would take time out of his day to go. This is what I think you should do. Like, that's a place of privilege, bro. Yeah, really acknowledge that, and don't get me wrong. Ignore a lot of things a lot. Yeah. Because I did that shit too. And that was definitely the move.
Take what you can and leave what you can't.
I 100% agree with Julian. You know what's another thing too? This is the greatest advice I can give another artist. Never fucking surround yourself with other artists. Yeah. I have been saying this for fucking years.
It's like maddening.
It is the worst thing you can do for your mental health. I think as an artist.
This is why
if you have any other passions as well in life, but all these other people do is talk about this, that's great. The obsession's great. I'm just as obsessed too, don't get me wrong. It's maddening though. It is maddening. I think the best thing I did for my art was surround myself with guys like Julian and all my other friends who were engineers.
I think the biggest
pushed me way further than ever. If I sat in a room with just all photographers and all we ever did was talk about photography, I'd burn myself out.
I think that like the biggest dream that like an animator could have, right? Is like, I want this like show or movie made, right? Like it's like being a filmmaker, but you know, drawing frame by frame. That's like so like you say that now, like, but to get that done, I'd have to work with other artists. You know what I mean? Like
that 100
people
I'm talking
who
about,
don't
like,
share my vision.
Personal life.
But like this, here's what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like a big goal of mine is that, but like I also want to like, and that is your work is your personal life. You know what I mean? So like, a big goal of mine is to do that, but like also I'm like, do I want to do that? I could just animate like some bullshit for some like marketing firm or something. Julian, were you gonna say something?
No, just
okay. Word. All right. But yeah, no. I think that's where I'm at. Like, I think. As long as I'm not, like, homeless, like, I'm chilling, that's...
No, that's real.
The goal is shelter.
Yeah, the goal is shelter. The goal is always shelter, because if you have shelter, that means you can make more shit. But yeah. All right, y'all. Appreciate you a bunch. We're going to come back. We might wrap this up a little bit in the next part of this, but
we'll get into your goals and your passion.
Overall, thank you all for joining us for this first half. We'll be right back. Appreciate you.
Be right back. Peace.
Woo! I don't know how to use this, so...
Back.
Commercial break.
Yeah. Cooking with gas now.
Yes, Max, sir. Where are you at in life?
Man, I think 2025 has been a year of growth for me.
Okay.
Like, pretty exponential growth. And I think some people might say I've been stagnant. Not like some people, but like, I think some people could think that I've been stagnant, but like, I mean, physically, I definitely am not.
Your progress in the gym is genuinely mind-blowing. I always told you, Max, you have the genetics for this.
Yeah.
Like, you're 6'7" or whatever, right?
I'm 6'6".
Oh, you're 6'8", yeah. It goes
6'5", 6'6". It depends on the shoes, whatever.
No, he's edit farming. Sorry.
6'7".
6'7".
Yeah. No, sorry.
No, but You have a very athletic build. You've always been active your entire life. I started lifting with the chud, with the skinny fat physique, okay? And it's hell, okay? But I was always like, Max, you literally have the ever since I started lifting, I was like, Max, you could like catch up to me in like a year, like if you started lifting. And you were always like, yeah, all right, bro. And now you're here, and I've seen so much progress with your lifts and everything, and it's
Appreciate
like,
that.
I don't know, man. How far you've come in this year is just mind blowing. Like, ever since you started lifting in 2024, it's been insane.
I'll say the same. Your consistency when it comes to the gym is like one of the things that sparked my inspiration to get consistent for myself.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
I appreciate you a lot.
It's like, I think we've talked about this on the podcast on an episode before, but it's like, it's robotic, damn near.
Yeah,
and it kind of like pisses me off the way you kind of just woke up and went, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then have not fallen off since.
Yeah. Really, the only times I fall off is when like I just physically can't. Good night, Ty. We love you.
Night, Tyler.
But yeah, gotta say goodnight to the homies.
Always.
Fuck that TikTok trend where they make that shit awkward.
No.
You say goodnight to your homies.
I'll go kiss him later.
On God. Anyways, though.
Yeah, no, but like I think there's aspects of it for sure that are definitely robotic, but I think the biggest part for me that I think I don't talk about like enough with it is that like there is actually a deep love that I have for it.
Yeah.
And I think beyond just like me actually now liking the gym a lot is actually I just love to move.
Right.
I feel like, and I think I got into this space of like gratitude for this more recently. So like I feel like at this age it's such a privilege to be as strong as I am, or like have the potential to be strong.
Yeah.
And like to not use that feels like such a waste to me.
Right.
Now, and I also just am like I'm so blessed to be able to move so freely all the time. It's like I feel like to not use that as much as I could is a waste of that too. And so like I'm not perfect with it for sure. Like, and I like it's like I talked about earlier. Like, you know, I got sick and everything.
Yeah,
and like,
but that's
you know, but there's like minor setbacks. But
like
I think if like when shit like that doesn't happen though, like it's on. Like for me, for sure. And like I think that is why though. Like my motivation's pretty genuine. It's just because I'm like, I just genuinely love this. Yeah. Like beyond just any growth or anything. The growth is nice, you know what I mean? But it's now more for me like it's just like a genuine love for like taking care of myself and having this privilege of being able to go do it.
That's how I feel about volleyball highly.
Yeah, like it's just a privilege.
Did I tell you I signed up for back-to-back tournaments?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go play grass and then go play sand.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You'll be exhausted.
Oh my god, I'm gonna sleep for 48 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So like, I mean, that part of my life and my goals with that, you know, I think I'm always trying to push myself harder. I think I made weight goals for myself early on, which I actually was really good about. And
the fact that you achieved them pisses me off. Because do you understand?
Everyone was like, "You're not hitting that," and
I
did it, and then I did it. Now, you knew I could, but there were people that were like, "Bro, that's a lot," and then I was like, "Yeah," and then I did it within like 6 months, and they were all like. You know, I've come back now and people have seen me. Like, I mean, you've watched this and you've watched this too. Like, insane. People will come and see me and they're like, holy shit, bro, what the hell? No, we're not doing all that. We're not doing all that.
I got excited.
No.
Way ahead of myself. Way ahead of myself.
No, but, you know, though, so it's like, that aspect too is cool. Like, having people, like, physically be like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
Like, that's been really cool for me. And
you put on a good bit of muscle, dude.
Yeah, and I think
it pisses me off because like I was eating like 5,000 calories at one point for like 6 months and I could not gain weight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's my like one key that I've got is like that's the part I can do.
Yeah.
Is that somehow like. Because I've now more recently been in like a maintaining phase. Because I've been like, okay, I need to start building this smarter.
Yeah.
Not because I built it bad, but like, you know, I got too far.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is too far. This is fluffy. I need to scale it back. So I've scaled it back now to like a pretty solid, like, you know, it looks like pretty good overall. Yeah. And, you know, it'll fluctuate a little bit. Yeah. But like 100%. Overall, though, it's like it's really solid. And that's like my window between 205 and 210, and generally I'm on the 210 side of that. Yeah. So, you know, I think now it's like it'll be interesting to see when I try it again in the winter to be like, go back to that and be like, all right, I don't think I'll go as hard as I did this past winter.
Yeah.
Because that was brutal.
I want to see you do a hard cut. Like
a hard cut. That's the thing. I just don't want to be that light again. That's more of where I'm at.
I think you would lose less weight than you think you're going to.
Yeah, like
I think if you bulked up again, you went from 210 to like 230. If you push.
Oh, from that cut. Yeah.
No. Well, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to bulk.
I thought you were saying from like where I'm at right now. I'm like, bro.
I
don't want to be at 190 again.
You're
trying to stick with this. Good night, Jordan.
Are you going to bed?
Yeah. Good night, Jordan.
Good night, Jay.
Yeah. So yeah, no. Okay, no. I feel you now. No, from 230 though to like back down would be like. That's what I think. Like
because at 230 you will have gained so much muscle that when you cut, you'll get down to this body percentage that you'll just be fucking shredded and big. Yeah. And I want to see a hard, because you cut back, but you didn't do it like a cut. Yeah. Because if you cut, you'd probably, because you went from
cut
what?
Like 15.
How much did you weigh?
Highest? My highest I was 220, and now I'm like, last time I weighed myself was 205.
Right.
So I cut a solid 15. And it's definitely
where did you start when you were going to 220?
God. I started at 180.
Yeah. So that's 40 pounds, and you're supposed to cut, I think, a little bit more than half. Alex Eubanks can correct me later. I don't give a shit. But
I need to add something on. It was looking rough before.
Yeah, it
was a fucking stick bean.
I almost started making you lunch just to make sure you were eating.
No, so like I think a lot of people were starting to do that. Yeah. Yeah, but no. So outside of that, though, I mean, well, first of all, that's been one of my bigger blessings in life recently, and I guess goals with that is obviously to remain consistent.
Yeah.
Which I do a good job of. I'm in there at least 3 times a week, which is within that window of how much I want to be in.
Right.
It's generally 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, though, like I think bigger life goals I have right now is I think I've been watching Gus do this a lot for this summer, and I think it's been really cool. Like watching you do this process is like you're really in this big like creative push right now. And I really want to get back to that space myself because I think, full admit, totally out of burnout after school.
Fair.
But I also give yourself some credit. Your work has improved a lot since. I even think you've been out of college. I mean, I think your work has like gotten like exponentially has gotten better since you've been out of school.
I agree.
From when I met you to about when you graduated. That growth from just when I met you to up was really like you had a good 3 years of just hard creatives.
Yeah.
Good. I don't think you produced any.
I pushed it a lot.
You didn't produce anything that I would have been like, like everything you produced, I was like, I'll put that on my wall right now.
I think one of the greatest comments I got from a professor, and this was like in one of my final critiques, like of my senior year, was she goes, Max, you just put stuff out, and the first thing that everyone thinks is, this is good.
Yes.
Like, not just like hey, this is all right. Like, this is actually just good.
Yeah.
Like, objectively, it's just good. Like, your worst thing, people look at it and they go, this is good. And your best stuff is like, this is great. And so, like, you know.
Your throwaways would have made platinum, dude. It was.
Yeah, I think my throwaways, for me, are like, for some, like, I'm not trying to say this to my horn, but like, yeah, for some others, like that totally would have been within
100%.
And so like, but I just had such a high standard for myself where I was like, you know, I had stuff that I really liked that I made, and then like I had people being like, bro, that's not even close to the best of this project. And I was like, damn, all right.
I want you to send me some of your photos, and I want to see if I can make some edits of some of your photos because I would just love to see videos like your Greek God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff like that. Like, I think though, like I made a photo list like this summer of being like stuff I want to shoot with all you guys and like with Gus too, like especially because like you're only here for a limited time. Like getting stuff on the books with you and like really embracing all these like opportunities. And I think what I realized about my art is the most creative I've ever been was when I came from a space of love. Yeah. The most motivated I've ever been was a space where I came from anger.
Yeah.
And don't worry, I made bangers when I was angry. Don't
Get that
twisted.
You made some fun.
Like, Fallen was like pure fucking spite, and that was by far my best project.
Yeah. You think so?
Yeah. How raw that was.
I have my personal favorite is your men's mental health.
Yeah.
That one will always.
I think Fallen though was just like the technicality of it. I shot everything by myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it was all
that project
up to me
was insane.
Yeah, and like I was making shit that people were like, you know, that mental health project. There's a lot of questions as to how I was making these photographs because they were pretty out there. Yeah. That one, they were like, where the fuck did you even start for this?
Right.
Shit? Like that was how much of just a jump that went from that.
Dude, that one right there, that one will always hold like a different spot in my heart.
Because that was like one of the most locked in phases I've ever been in my life. Like everyone watched me during that, and they're like, "Holy shit!"
I remember being in front of your camera and just watching that, and just going, "God, this man gives so much of a shit."
Yeah,
like this man cares so much. Like
I was so fucking chalant during that period of time.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
insanely chalant. No, granted, I don't regret that at all.
Right,
like, I was super passionate about what I was doing, and like I wouldn't change that for the world. But yeah, no, like is you know, coming from that space again of just like a pure love for what I'm doing, I know like that's where I create my best stuff. And I think now too is like as an artist, like, you know, I explored those avenues of like mental health and like portraying that in a more abstract way for me. Right. Or like in ways that were more diverse, I feel like is probably the best way of saying it.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah, especially by shooting a lot of that in color because, you know, a lot of mental health is portrayed in black and white. And I really wanted to make a space where it was like mental health is not black and white.
No.
It's actually very colorful. A lot of people see it in color.
Yeah.
Live it in color, and this is what it looks like. And so, you know, I really played that hand for a while, and it was such a blessing. But, like, you know, I think my greatest space within my art is, like, it's really just my love for people. Yeah. And I think just going back to that and creating art for that. And I think there's two avenues in which I know when I combine them, everyone's always like, damn, that shit's really hard. There's one it's with people and it's outside. Like it's adventure. Yeah. Like it's just like childlike adventure. Those are my best photos for sure.
I'll say
like, you look at my website, it's like, oh shit, like that. Like when I start getting those creative modes, like I combine those two interests of mine, like those loves of mine, and then I get creative on top of that, it's like, yeah, this is sick.
It's
like, this
cooked.
is sick.
It's cooked. I'll be honest, like, I love seeing you in front of the camera. Don't get me wrong. But, like...
I need to go back to being behind.
When
I'm directing the show, it's way better.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really weird, and I'm just going to put a pause on it now. Alright? I'm going to just put a pause on it now. Like I've told you, I've modeled. Right? I've done some modeling. I've acted in some films. I've done theater. I've done a lot of stuff in front of a camera. I have never felt more taken care of than when you're shooting photos. Yeah. Like it's a comfortability that has always not been. I know if your hands on my photos, I know that all of it's taken care of. Yeah. Like, as long as you're behind that camera, I'm not stressed out. Yeah. I'm not worried. Like, there's been so many times you're like, hey, we're going to do a photo shoot. I'm like, okay, word, what are we doing? You're just like, oh, just be at my house at 6. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. And I'm not worried about it because I feel so comfortable when you're behind that camera.
Appreciate you.
And it's such a beautiful... I want more people to experience that, so I love when you take pictures of other people because I'm like, forever, however long that photo shoot was, that person felt cared for, felt loved, felt appreciated. Yeah, I love that feeling that you give me and other people. Even watching you shoot photos for other people, I love that feeling that sense of comfortability.
Appreciate that a lot.
And just contentment. Being in front of the camera, the most Leah has always been super nervous in front of cameras. Yeah, watching you take photos of her, she is just
easy. Yeah,
it's easy. It really is so simple. Like everybody feels like a model, like they've been doing this for 15 years. Like, I know exactly how to do everything.
Yeah.
As soon as you're behind that camera, I love that because I have not always experienced that.
You know, I think first of all, thank you. Like that means the world to me, and like that's always my goal. Like with people is like really to make them feel not just like good about like everything that happens, but like I want them to feel like it's an experience. Like, and it's something that it's like they're involved in. Like, it's a process. It's an artistic process that you and I share together.
You've gotten so much better at that too. I remember when we were kids, and it was very much like
an
aggressive, like not a knock on you. Obviously, you didn't know like the process yet and how to make them feel comfortable, how to fondle their ball. No, I'm kidding. But but like to watch you grow into more of like a directorial role with your photography.
Yeah.
Where you're like very good at managing people, and like I do photo shoots with you now, and it's so seamless. It's just so the process is so smooth, and I don't feel like there's like any static. And I think that being there at the beginning, the inception, when we're like yelling at each other in front of a bush with lights on it, and trying to get the best picture, and like you're like, dude, just get the picture of me, and my hands are shaking, so I can't get the picture because it's cold out. You know, to go from that to you being like the GOAT, the man, is like it's been a really cool process to watch.
Well, because it doesn't sound like, from my experience, like how many times have you been like, hey, I really want to get this shot. We showed up and it took us 5 minutes to get the shot.
Dude,
the travel to the shot took longer than the photo shoot itself.
Oh yeah, most of the time I have everything I know on lock, so I get there, I pose someone, or like I just know exactly what I want them to do. Like, we've been talking about it the entire time, so like they're already so locked into what they need to do right from the like jump to where it's just like, oh, dude, that's easy.
Dude, there's been a couple times where like I know you usually like shutter and you'll like get like 16. There's been a couple times where you showed up, you went click. Yeah, that's the one.
No, literally, Julie and I have done that before. G, like we literally showed up something. We drove an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah.
I shoot one photo. I know it's the one, and I go, we're leaving.
Yeah.
And he goes, what the fuck? Like, actually, was looked at me and been like,
but you have that as an artist though. You always know when like that.
Oh yeah, you know when the one
picture is the one. You know when it's the one.
I think for like generally I'll shoot like a couple safety ones like afterwards, but like there have been multiple times now, especially with you, where the first photo I shoot, I'm like,
it's like
perfect.
I'm like, that was money. I know nothing else we get after this is going to be half as good.
Yeah.
We are just doing it for safety.
Yeah.
With that being said, we are leaving after 3 more shots.
Yeah, dude.
We're entirely leaving the premises.
And like I said, I've modeled before. And there are photographers that will just lean on that button. And like there will be 460 shots of the same shot.
Yeah,
and they're just like scrolling through and they're just like, I don't know which was the one.
There was a part of a documentary I think that really inspired you, and I forget what it's called, but there was this guy, he would take a camera of film instead of a digital camera up to like on his, journeys, his adventures or whatever. And I remember you really taking to that. Or maybe I'm just misremembering something. Do you remember that? Like,
well, I mean, there's a Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Yeah. Or no, not that one, but like a different that also is great. But there was this documentary where this guy took a film camera up and he was like shooting on film, and he's like, yeah, it's almost better when you don't shoot as much.
I agree. I really, only time I shoot like high capacity is when I'm doing action sports.
Yeah.
And I just need as many frames as I can get.
Yeah.
Within however fast I'm shooting. Like, you know what I mean? But like I have multiple reasons why I think I'm at this space now where like we go now do something and it's super easy between like the two of you or anyone else in our group.
Yeah.
It's because I think actually like from the beginning I think I had a general sense of how I can interact with people to where it was successful. Obviously now it's insanely more polished than when I began.
Yeah.
Because there's just a learning curve. But I remember my biggest thing that I watched that I really disliked was other people and how they directed people. And the main thing that I watched was body language on models. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was always the first thing I noticed was tensity in the shoulders. And then inability to smile or to have any like real human expression. Like those were always the first things I noticed. And like really now to this day, the only times where like haven't been able to capture a photo with someone successfully is if they genuinely fucking hate me. Like I'm really being serious. Like that's really it. Otherwise everyone else I'm pretty much like I'm money with. Like, you know, there's some people who need a little bit more coaching than others. Right. Like you two I can put in front of a camera most of the time and be like, yep, they know what they're doing. Most of the time I just tell you guys to just move around naturally. Mm-hmm. And the most directing I do these days is just being like, pause what you just did. Right. And that's really like, that's all we need to do really. But like, and you know, obviously that's not everyone. But yeah, no, like really the only times where I'm like, that was a fucking flop is if I know someone literally like hates me.
Have you had to take photos of people that hate you?
Funny enough, ex-girlfriends, and I know they fucking hate me.
Wait, really, like
that? Those are the most difficult people.
I always look at those
while you were dating, or like
while we were dating. I'm like, I could literally look at them, and I thought in my head, I was like, I think she actually fucking hates me, and I was right.
Holy shit!
The most that I've ever been able to expose someone is behind a camera. Wow! You can tell everything. That's actually why I've really liked it.
Wow.
I can tell if someone's always genuinely liked me or not when they get in front of the camera with me.
Dude, what people don't realize about photography is that, you know, people think it's just taking a picture. No, it tells a story.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And when I'm looking back at all that and I can read the story, it's like, oh, I know exactly how they feel about me.
It's the story of people, of life, of things. And like, when you capture that ex-girlfriend who fucking hates you, you know, it's like, it's the truth. And there's a lot of beauty in that. And I think you're really good at showing that.
And it's funny to say because like now it's not the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
I think there's a.
But like it's really a fucking thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know who said this, or if anybody said this, or if I just made this up on the spot. If I did just make this up, copyright, all right?
Yeah.
But I have heard, or think I've heard, someone say a camera lens is a window into the soul.
That is a real saying. I don't know who says that, but yeah, that is a real thing.
I say that.
And I also, that's quote Julian Hazen right now.
Yes, sir. Oh, the big gorilla said.
Yeah. And I quote.
But no, I just like, I don't know. I've like looked back and seen pictures of myself at different times of my life. And like, I saw Leah had her prom pictures with her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I looked and I went, you're not happy.
You can tell immediately.
And she goes, I had a great night. I went, nah, you could see past that night in your eyes in that situation.
Yeah, 100%.
You are not happy. And she goes, no.
If you look at most photos I have with people, like I can tell you immediately how they were feeling in those photos.
Gosh, man.
You know, it's super funny.
I look back at pictures of myself and I was like, yeah, I was fucking miserable.
You can tell. It's a real thing. But yeah, no, it's so funny. You know, it's been a big tangent of what basically a camera has taught me now.
But dude, I love it.
But
I live for it.
But I think the overall message I try to get with is like, and I think now that you guys have told me, and this has been the coolest part for me, is that when my camera's out now, it's not really like, oh, Max is taking photos of me. It's more like a, hey, we're hanging out. Yeah. And now we just leave with memories.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the coolest compliment I've ever gotten. It was more of like a, yo, like, this is just like how, like, this is just who Max is. Like, it's really more of an extension of me than it is like a thing. You know what I mean?
I've always seen you as like Max the photographer. Not because that's what you do. It's who you are. Like,
it's part of my soul.
It's hard to separate. Dude. Yeah. It's like, it's impossible at this point. Like, when I talk about you to anybody, I'm like, yeah, my friend Max, he's a photographer. It has nothing to do with the story I'm telling.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, he's a photographer. Yeah, we wrote a podcast together. They're like, why'd you say he's a photographer? I'm like, cause he is. Like, that's
so I knew that when you got a camera, it was gonna be your thing. It was gonna be your passion, and like, I don't think I realized it, like, but internally, like, subconsciously, I was like, this is Max's thing. I knew that when, like, you shifted directions with your, like, degree in college, like, that you were that passionate, even when, you know, our parents were kind of like, oh, are you sure? Are you sure about that? Are you sure this?
Because it was more
freshman year, actually. I switched 4 days into school.
What were you?
Environmental sciences.
And that man said, "Nah, I gotta take photos."
I heard that they had a photo program and it was a full major, and I was like, "Yo."
Yeah, no.
I mean, it was like immediately. Like I went back to my dorm and I was like, called my parents and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Time to switch."
We all know I'm gonna become a photographer anyways. Yeah. That's the entire end goal.
So why play?
So I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
For 4 years. And like to their credit, like they weren't asking in a way of like they doubted me. It was more of a matter of like, hey, we just want to check in. Like you don't have to make a rash decision right now.
Right.
And I just knew, and I just was like, no, this is just me.
There was no part of that decision that was rash.
It was like hey, let's be honest. We all know who exactly I am. This makes total sense. And they all were kind of just like, yeah, I can't really fuck with that.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? It was like, yeah.
I've already said it, but as soon as you got that camera, man, it's like, it's almost like an appendage, a piece of your body, like something you need, if that makes sense. Like, it was such a natural extension of you.
I think the funniest,
you know what I mean?
I think the funniest part is that the people that put me onto photography, I got known more as a photographer than they did.
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Wow.
Like, this is no disrespect. I ran laps around those fools.
That's how it should
should
be, though.
Yeah. No, because, like, you know, they put me onto it in respect to them. Like, I appreciate that a lot because, like, you know, they didn't have to.
Right.
But in the same breath, though, I remember looking at them after a minute and I was like, oh, you guys are competition and I'm going to fucking kill you. And I did. And, like, after 6 months, it was like, yo, Max is kind of him.
Fire, bro.
Like they were like, yo, Max is him. Whatever he's doing, like you're great, but he's him. Like it was
hey,
like
you're cool and all, but like hell.
And that's not to like toot my own horn, but like, you know, it was like after a whole year of like shooting photos, people were like, you know, they would come up to me and I'd be like, oh yeah, because you know, I don't talk about this very much. Like this is the most I've talked about my photography in a very long time.
I live for it, dude. I love it.
Dude, your face lights up when you talk about it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how to.
Smiling. Ain't nothing to smile about.
You talk about photography like the way that like old men talk about how much they love their wives. I love it. Yeah, I live for it, man.
It's honestly my first love. Like it really is. Hell yeah. Yeah, and probably will be one of my dying loves too.
Yeah, I love that you talked about that on this podcast.
Yeah, the funniest part though is like you know, after a year, people were like, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like kind of what I do, and people were like, they would be like, shut the fuck up, this motherfucker's cold. Like that was like word for word with it, and they'd be like, hey, you can talk your shit. You're good enough to talk your shit. Right. And I was like, word. And so
With that being said, Julian, you want to take it away?
All right, guys, thank you for another episode. A very serious one, a beautiful one, a lovely one, a passionate one.
100%.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 13 of the Perplexing Perspective. Please go check out Gus's art channel.
He's wicked. He's fucking wicked.
Yeah, it'll be linked in the description. It probably already popped up somewhere in the episode. Please check out our previous episode, which should be on one of these two sides. Please like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you are updated every time that we post. Hopefully every week. But every time that we post, go check out Max's Instagram. He has his website. He has all types of crazy photos, as we talked about. Check out my Instagram. You see some volleyball edits that I make on CapCut in about 30 seconds on the toilet. And we will see you next time for episode 14.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Doses.
Give me my theme music.